Hello, friends. I hope this finds you well. So, I am coming back with another story, another animal story, another horse story. And this is from an animal who was rescued by three Sisters Equine Rescue and unfortunately did not make it. And his story, I think, is a really important one because also he came back and popped in and had a message that was not only for those who rescued him, but for all of us. And so it feels really important to share with everybody. So we're going to take the time and energy to do that now. So the images that you see were taken by Emily Green, and she is a very talented photographer. And if you're in the Bend area, I highly recommend Bend, Oregon area, I highly recommend you look her up or contact her. And like I said, this horse was rescued by Three Sisters Equine Rescue. So this horse in particular, his name is True, and he was rescued in the bunch with Awesome from the previous video that I did, the off the track thoroughbred. This True came with him. So sometimes what happens with me is that I will see an image of an animal or I'll hear about an animal and feel this deep pull to communicate with them. And I honor that because it's there for a reason, and it's pulling me to that animal for a reason for them to have some kind of voice. So I honor it and I do what I can to share the messages or do what I can for whatever they're asking within that message. So that happened. Three Sisters had posted an image of Awesome and that they were going to rescue this horse, and I felt this massive pull to connect in with this horse. And so I took the time and the space and I connected in with him, and I sent everything over to the women that were rescuing him and then these other horses that I found out about after the fact. And they told me, we don't think that's Awesome. We think it's who didn't have a name at the time, but later was named True. We think it's True who actually you were communicating with. And because I didn't know about True, Awesome became the portal for True to come through. And so this is, again, why we follow our intuition, why we follow the pull and the call, because we don't know where it's leading and we don't need to. We just need to know that this is where we're meant to be going right now. And we'll maybe at some point understand why. And there's some kind of usually greater good at work. So let me introduce you to True. He is beautiful. This is True. Again, these photos were taken by Emily Green. And I want to share a few so I have communicated with him 3 times. One was that time where I felt called to. The next time I had been asked by the rescue to, well, we'll get to that. And then the time that he popped in. And so the popping in thing, at the end of any of my readings that I do with animals, I always invite them that if they ever have a message for their people or they need to get something across, they're always welcome to come back, and I'm happy to pass along that message. And so many of them come back. Many of my clients, if you're watching, have experienced that, where out of the blue, I'll send an email or a text and is like, hey, here's a message. Not sure if it resonates or not, but like, here it is. And it's always fun to get to have share those moments with them. All right. So where do I start? I think I want to actually start with this photo. And this is True. And this is Katie Dixon, who is a great trainer, has gentled many a Mustang, and is a very natural and holistic kind of trainer. So if you are, she's moving. So if you're in the Woodstock kind of Heartland, Vermont area, I would look her up. All right. So I want to start with the first message that, oh, it's pausing. Okay. Hold on. Let's sort this out. I'll try it this way. So let me share the screen this way because I want to read something for you guys. So here's True again. And this is from the first time I connected in with him. So when he came in, he immediately nuzzled his head into my arm. It felt like he was trying to hide himself from the world, from his experience, from everything. He feels empty. It felt like he didn't want to leave. He didn't want me to leave his side. He felt scared, tired, and sad. So as you can see, this image is so much represents how I saw him when he first came in to the communication into the reading. This is what I saw. Him nuzzling, him not really wanting to move from that. So I said, the thing that I found to be really sad with him is that so much of what I was saying, he didn't understand. So I said, hi, buddy, I'm here to let you know that you're going to a really safe space that is going to keep you safe and also protect you. And he said, okay. And I said, they're going to love on you and feed you lots of food, but not all at once, because he's also emaciated, to help you gain weight, energy, and muscle. And he said, what is that like? And I said, it's going to be really lovely. You'll be surrounded by really loving energy, high vibration energy, healing energy. People are going to say really nice things to you and about you. And there will always be food for you. You no longer have to go without. And he was speechless. He didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to think. And I said, it felt really important to me to chat with you so that you could understand what was happening, that you could understand that you were going to a safe and loving place and that things are going to get so much better from now on and not stay the same or get worse. Do you understand that? And he said, I think so. It's hard to understand and know that. And I said, it will take some time for you. And he said, yeah, I think so. And I said, that's okay. You take the time you need to settle into this new life of yours. You likely will not stay at this place forever, but you will be here as long as you need to become happy and healthy before potentially finding your forever home. And he said, are people really this kind? And I said, these people really are love. Things are changing for you and they are only getting better. And he just said, wow. And let's see. I'm just going to find a couple of other things. Otherwise, this is going to become really long. I asked him if there are any places on his body that hurt. And I felt that his back left hoof had some kind of discomfort or pain, but otherwise his body felt numb. Not good, numb. And I said, what will help you feel loved? And I saw, because I don't always hear things, so I saw someone stroking his neck and that feeling like the safest spot for him right now, that to have somebody touch him and speaking to him in a low and loving tone, telling him about how beautiful and loving and brave and worthy and etc. that he is. That's what will make him feel loved. Let's see. I asked him, is there anything else you want these new people to know about you so they can best serve you? And he said, I don't understand what you mean by serve me. I don't understand what you mean by make me feel loved. I don't understand a lot of what you're saying or asking because that hasn't been part of my story much. I am in disbelief of what you are saying, and I am hopeful about the things that you are saying. Can I think on this and see what you are talking about before getting back to you? I said, of course, of course you can. And he said, can you please tell them to be soft and careful? My body is sensitive and sore, and touching it hard and harshly does not feel good to me. And his whole body felt sensitive and reactive to light touch, almost like a nerve pain kind of feeling that kind of shoots out. I told him, you can breathe easy now, love. You are safe. You are loved by so many people that have never met you in person. So many people are sending you so many loving thoughts, vibes, and prayers. Receive them all. They are all for you. And again, he was speechless. He's in disbelief. He didn't understand what this was about. And the last question I asked him this first time was, last thing before I leave you for the night, is there anything you would like to be called? Because I love asking animals what they want to be called, because sometimes they have a really strong opinion. My horse Ruby had a really strong opinion. And so he said, he didn't actually say anything, but what came through was that something where the meaning has to do with truthful or being truthful or the embodiment of truth. And so these women who rescued him named him True. That is where his name came from. It came from him and their willingness to listen to him. And so the next time I chatted with him, it was 2 days later, and the message I got was, if he can't stand up, like, he's not going to make it. And so when I connected in with him, he felt really heavy and slightly lifeless. And I asked him, buddy, do you want to live? Do you want to fight? And he said, not if this is how it's going to be. Talking about his previous life and the things that he was working through. He was obviously very malnourished. He was very sick. And I said, I promise you, if you choose to stay and you want to fight through this, you are going to have a magical life. You are going to live where you can run and you will be strong and full of life. You will have a full life. He said, I do. I want that, but I fear it is too late. I fear I haven't tried hard enough and there isn't much more I can do. And here he's putting it on himself that he potentially can't live because he's not trying hard enough, not because people absolutely failed him. And let's see. I kept repeating to him that you deserve this life. And I received a message during this that they couldn't get him up. So I told him that they're going to help him transition and that you won't hurt and you won't fear anymore. Those people around you love you so much. And I hope you felt their love during the past couple of days. And he just kind of nodded and like he understood. And I told him, we love you and we are so sorry that this is the life that you had here this time around. None of us think it's okay, and we are sorry that our kind fully and completely failed you. Run free, and hopefully in your next life, you will only know an abundance of love. And I saw a rainbow and birds flying. I'll give you a different picture of him. And this was on February 3rd. And I had every intention to connect back in with him and see how he was doing. And I just never felt the call and never really made the time to do it. And then on May 6th, he popped into my meditation and he was strong. He was laying on the ground, but he had this life about him. He was holding himself up. He ended up standing up, and he had a very strong message for all of us that I want to now share with you. This is what he had to say. I had a voice and it was silenced. I had a life and it was squandered. I had a purpose and it was snuffed out. People will begin to see the error of their ways. We cannot continue down this path we are on for much longer. It cannot hold the weight, physically or emotionally. My life was not in vain, but it was a tragedy. I helped many of those around me while experiencing some of the worst your species had to offer. And yet I persisted. I continued. Not for me, but for my brethren. They deserved it. You did not. I'm grateful for the way things ended in love, grace, support, and safety. But it didn't have to end that way, that young, in that room. It didn't, but it did. I want you all to learn something from this. You are not better. You are not more worthy. You do not deserve more than any other being. We are equal and beautiful and benefit one another when the circumstances are right. I want you to learn to be brave in the midst of abuse and use your voice for love and not hate. You have the power it takes to change. You have the power it takes to change it all for all of us, your species included. But you have to take the necessary stand to make that happen. What can we all learn from True? And how can we all be better?